Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Monday, October 25th, 2021. To start off with, here's our precipitation for the past 14 days. We've observed on the left and the percent of normal on the right. We've had some higher than average precipitation over Utah and up into eastern Idaho, where conditions have been a little bit drier further west and south across the area. We are getting some precip in right now and through the next couple of days, however, so that should really increase these precip totals. Snow for the past 72 hours shown here on the left. Much of this has come in the past 24 hours or so to Idaho and Nevada. And then our snow depth is shown on the right. We have had some snow in Utah, but it's melted off with the warmer temperatures over the past few days, week. But some precip, or that snow moving into Idaho has increased the snow depth there just a bit. So we will see this snow depth increasing with some precip coming through the next couple of days. So the big story for this week, at least for the first half of this week, is this low pressure system off the Pacific coast. It's a very large trough in place over the entire western U.S. It's already brought significant precip to the west coast and is starting to move into the Great Basin. So heavy precip occurring this morning over much of Nevada and up into western Idaho. And we'll see this front continue to move through the Great Basin throughout the day and overnight today, bringing precip to Utah by later this evening. So by this evening, again, that trough will move inland, spreading that large area of deep moisture across the Great Basin, bringing precip pretty much everywhere, and also dropping temperatures as the main core of the low moves in overnight. Ventilation rates are pretty favorable today for much of Utah, Nevada, and even portions of Idaho. This is largely due to the wind that's in place out ahead of this low, especially over southern Utah or southern Nevada and western Utah, where wind gusts will be the strongest today out ahead of that front, with gusts up to 60 miles an hour plus. Very, very windy out there ahead of that front. Mixing heights are also very high out ahead of that trough, a little bit lower back behind as that cold front moves through. By Tuesday evening, that low will have quickly moved off to the east, taking the bulk of the precipitation with it, but we will see some lingering precip possible on Tuesday, certainly throughout the day Tuesday. Ventilation rates are pretty favorable on Tuesday, area-wide. On Tuesday, the winds shift to northern Nevada and Idaho as there is another trough moving into the Pacific Northwest, and mixing heights are pretty high area-wide. On Wednesday, westerly to northwesterly flow continues across the Great Basin with a drier pattern across the south, but plenty of moisture in place over the Pacific Northwest, which will bring some precip to Idaho and possibly northern Nevada midweek. Ventilation rates still pretty high, especially over Idaho, eastern Nevada, and portions of Utah. On Wednesday, the wind speeds remain elevated over Idaho, western Wyoming, and over portions of northeast Utah. Mixing heights still remaining pretty high. Clearing index for Monday and Tuesday are shown here with very high values across much of Utah for those couple of days, especially today with very strong winds out ahead of that trough. 3-day precip totals are shown here. Again, pretty good amounts across the Great Basin, with these blue areas showing over an inch of precipitation, and with higher elevations this will certainly come in the form of snow. On Thursday, continued dry pattern over Utah and Nevada, but with that moisture remaining in place over the Pacific Northwest and northern Rockies, we could see some showers continuing over the higher elevations of central Idaho. Ventilation rates still pretty good. On Friday, we'll start to see a trough developing over the Pacific Northwest, northern Rockies. That will increase the chance for showers over Idaho and northern Nevada. Ventilation rates decrease a bit over Nevada, but still remaining somewhat favorable over Utah and Idaho. On Saturday, that trough moves across the northern Rockies, dragging a little cold front through Utah and Nevada through the central portions here, possibly bringing a chance of showers. Not a lot of high confidence in this event for Saturday. Ventilation rates still remaining fairly high across the area. And then on Sunday, with the trough moving off to the east and another one setting up to the west, we'll see conditions drier across the geographic area for sunny skies. Ventilation rates dropping just a bit across the north, still remaining somewhat favorable over Utah and Nevada. The precip totals from days 4 and 5, this includes Thursday through Saturday of next week, showing generally light amounts or no precip expected over Utah and Nevada and southern Idaho, but some precip continuing over the central Idaho mountains. There still is a chance we could see a little front dropping through on Saturday for a little band of precip, but confidence again is low in that event. The extended forecast through November 1st through the 7th, we see a bit of a shift in our weather pattern. We return to a dry pattern across the western U.S., especially over Nevada and western Utah, with above normal temperatures across the area as well. So nice to get this precip in here, but it looks like we will be flipping back to a warmer and drier pattern as we go into November. This concludes today's smoke dispersion briefing. Please check back later this week for the next forecast.